said, I had a few clients with rotator cuff issues, and I know one of my clients, I never did this rubber band thing before. I don't know about that. But I would always work all the muscles like around the rotator cuff. That's how I like visually see it, and he seemed to have good great results. But we never did like the holding it, but we just like kind of like would rotate the shoulder and work like the back of the posterior deltoid and things. So I just try to like stabilize the muscle around it and see if that helps him.
And that's a great point. The stuff that I'm going to teach you today is there's going to be very little that's going to be specifically geared towards doing anything to the rotator cuff tendon. Our goal is going to be to get the more massive muscles around the pecs, the lats, the traps stronger without using the rotator cuff. So you're on to the right thought process. We're just going to add to that we're going to do it in a way that we know helps to stabilize the shoulder. And why is that important? Because I told you in the very beginning, is there a correlation between what we see and what they feel? Is there a correlation? No. That's really important for you guys to understand. I can get a patient whose back MRI and x-rays, I look at them like, how are you walking? The central canal is caudalcated down to 1 millimeter. The spinal cord's making this little trip through this compressed area, but they're walking around just fine. They have no pain. They got no neurological signs. And you get a patient who has a little tiny disc bulge, and the little thing's just barely touching the nerve, and they're like, oh, I can't stand up. And it's the same way with the shoulder. Shoulder's the same. So you can have somebody that has pathology and not a lot of symptoms, or someone with little pathology and tremendous symptoms. So in your case, you may have somebody that's just in that dichotomy, but it's understanding you're on the right track. Let's strengthen the extrinsic muscles, but do it in a way that we lessen the stress on the tendons, because in time we know what's going to happen to that rotator cuff if we ignore it. It's going to get better or worse? It'll get worse if we classically do the same thing.